Hello, welcome to another guitar hang. My name is Brent Grow. Hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, thing, whatever it is for you at whatever time you happen to be watching this. So as far as guitar updates go, I just wanted to share real quick. This is a guitar you've already seen. This is my Fender Telecaster Ventera 50s Telecaster. I think I've been beating this thing up. I don't know where these marks came from. That's okay though. So over the weekend on Sunday, I decided that previous to this, I had this guitar set up in half-step tuning. I threw some thicker strings on it and I wanted to try it out at band practice again. And so I put 10 to, I think they're 10 to 48s. Man, I gotta really look at it. I think I even put it in the comments, yeah. On my Fender guitars, where they have the 25.5-inch scale length, a longer scale length, so the strings tend to feel a little bit tighter. On those guitars, I put 10 to 48, I believe. Or 46, yeah, it's 10 to 46, and then it's 11 to 48 on my Gibson, so the 24 3/4-inch scale length. Shorter scale length. Scale length is from the point of the bridge to the where the strings leave the bridge, and then when they hit the nut, that's scale length. So some guitars are a little bit longer or shorter. Gibsons tend to be shorter ones. There's a few Fender models that are in that shorter length, but most Fenders are 25.5-inch, and most Gibsons are 24 3/4. So on my Fenders, in drop C, C, G, C, F, C, G, C, F, A, D, I use 10s. Look at me looking like a crazy person with all the bugs around in my garage. Yeah, so I strung this up, put it in C, and ran it through its paces, you know, kind of after doing some of these videos and talking about how my Jason Isbell Telecaster isn't quite as much output as I would like, and this one kind of is, and it went really well in band practice. I'm like, I know I say this stuff all the time and I go back and forth, but I think for a little while this is going to be like kind of my main guitar for the band, and then I think I'll take that Jason Isbell Telecaster and put it back into standard, put regular strings on it, and use it as kind of my learning guitar for learning other songs in standard. And then this was going to be my no regard guitar for a bit. We had our second practice with our drummer. That's been going good. I saw improvements from first practice to second practice. He really came in and was able to play through almost an entire set immediately the first day, and then yeah, continues to kind of improve and put things together. So that's awesome, and I think we're going to be back on stage pretty soon, which is really exciting. Other things I wanted to talk about, I saw a video today on 5 Watt World, Keith talking on that channel about not starting, or it never being too late to start or kind of set some goals and achieve some things. You're never too late to achieve. You're never too late to start over. You're never too late too old to get started. And that message really kind of hit home with me today. I think it's a really cool message and a cool thing to talk about. As far as my guitar journey goes, I played a lot through high school, kind of into college, and then the band I was in kind of fell apart. High school band that my bass player for No Regard, Corbin, and I were in together. And I did stop playing guitar. I was working on hip hop stuff, and I was, the singer of No Regard, AK Knowledge, and I had done hip hop stuff for quite a while in between my very first band up till now. We had done a lot of hip hop stuff, and that's where some of the songs on the No Regard album come from, that hip hop stuff. But there was a good long period of time where I wasn't playing guitar consistently. And I would say, I, in the past 4 years, kind of got back into it consistently and have kind of gotten to a point of, I think people get nervous when they get older or feel like it's past their time or their prime to be a successful musician. And Keith on the 5 Watt World channel today has spent a lot of time talking about what's your definition of success? And I think that's a really, I think people get caught up in their heads of seeing what other people have achieved and trying to put those as like their benchmarks for success. So you see Jason Isbell play at the Democratic National Convention, and that kind of sets a bar for you, like that's something you want to achieve. And it's good to have things that you're striving for, but you also need to kind of take a step back and be realistic about what you have achieved and be really proud of even the small wins and small victories. So, I mean, even for me right now, like getting back into guitar, playing for 4 years, putting a band together, putting out an album and playing some shows is a really big deal. And it's really exciting and it's fulfilling to me, I just am so excited to get a drummer back in the band and then be able to start going and playing shows, no matter what that looks like, even if it is money out of my own pocket. I just want to be on stage sharing my music, playing, growing as a musician, and putting myself in some tough situations. Like, I think that's kind of what a show ultimately is for a musician. It's like a test, and I don't even know, not necessarily a test, but it's like those are the moments that really make you grow as a musician. You have to show up in front of a bunch of people and really entertain and kind of put on a show. And I just, I think about those moments and I want to be so prepared and I want to knock it out of the park and I want to show up like a professional at a job and really be able to perform at a high level. So I'm just excited to get back on the stage and do that. And just to be consistently performing, I think is a really big goal of mine right now. It's not a crazy one. I'm not really worried about selling out shows or playing the biggest show possible. I just want to consistently play shows and work on new music and try to put music out and be a musician for my lifetime. It doesn't need to be successful anywhere in there. I just want to continually be able to play play with other people, play shows, share that music. So I just want to say thank you to Keith of 5 Watt World for that subject matter. And it was just really cool. It was cool to hear other people's stories about what's success to them. And we all get to define that for ourselves. I think some of the stories he kind of shared on there were people, winning some big time awards, but the most rewarding thing being able to sit down and play a song for their family. Like sometimes it's the not so obvious things that we get to do as musicians, the people we get to touch and move. Sometimes the more intimate settings are the more valuable ones than the really big accomplishments and achievements. So wanted to touch on that a bit. Also, I did mention a little bit, I'm kind of curious on people's thoughts. This is a controversial subject matter. I'm not really interested in getting in many arguments with people, Democratic, Republican. We can all have conversations and live our lives and believe what we want to believe. But seeing Jason Isbell, I always say his name wrong, Jason Isbell, play at the Democratic National Convention was kind of just a cool moment for me. I think he picked a really great song of his that kind of spoke to the moment. For me, it's exciting to see an artist that's not afraid to kind of go out on a limb and do something that probably he knows isn't going to be received well by some people. Obviously it is by a whole nother group of people. But him being an artist from Alabama and being from the South and showing up and doing something like that, I think it's just a cool moment. It's a cool piece of growth for everybody. It gives people down south somebody to look at who maybe shares their ideas when they feel surrounded by a completely other set of ideas. But I'm also curious. So I have, his custom Telecaster, and we all kind of know that certain guitar players are known for their big moments on big stages, and then those guitars kind of become the sought after guitars that people really think of them by, because those are the big moments, so I think this is a big moment for him, and for him to have that guitar on stage, it made me feel good about owning the guitar. To see him still using it, he's acquired some really expensive, rare pieces of gear. So for him to not kind of stray too far from like what he's really known for, it was really cool to see him up there with his custom Telecaster, the one that he's got. His kind of signature line from Fender is modeled after that guitar. So my question is to you, now that I own one, does it make it a more important guitar? And down the road, does it hold more value? I don't know at this moment that it's that big of a deal. I think it's a cool story to include with the guitar, that that moment kind of happened. I mean, it's around a pretty important moment in our history of possibly, the first woman president. But I just thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting. When I saw him using that guitar on stage, I was like, it's kind of a cool moment for me to like have the guitar and then see him using it in that moment on a big stage that a lot of people are going to kind of get to know him from. It'll be a launching point of a lot of people finding his music. So interesting, cool thing to think about. And I think that's about it for today's episode. Yeah, this is the new No Regard Telecaster. Maybe because I'm listening to too much Tom Morello, and that's one of his main guitars is a Telecaster. I watched some gear review stuff, and it was the one that, he's kind of using a 90s standard production line Telecaster. So mine's a little bit more old school. The biggest challenge I have with this guitar for the band stuff is the thickness of this neck. Everything else that I use is a thinner neck, and this thing is just a big old baseball bat of a neck. But it really sounded great. It did everything I wanted it to do at practice. I'm just gonna get a little bit more used to playing it, which I'm gonna spend the next few weeks doing. Yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in. If you like these updates about guitar happenings in my life and around the world, like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, tune in. I do these every Tuesday night and then just post them up as soon as I'm done. Just hanging out in a buggy garage, talking about music, guitar stuff, things that I'm into. Let's see, what was I listening to today? Not too much different. I've been kind of stuck on some stuff. I kind of went back through the Casey Musgraves album today, Deeper Wells. That's one of my favorites right now. I did listen to some Audioslave again today. The Revelations album is the one I've been kind of focusing on. Yeah, that's about it. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.